and out there, if you're in the market for a new or new to you Chevy Silverado or Colorado, check out Simon Chevy in Mount Horeb. We call that truck Beast.
Ooh,
because it's a beast.
What color?
Blue.
Ooh,
With the black tinted windows. I gotta get the rims still done, but we call it the Beast. Tows the camper, everything like that. Strofe does not name his car. It is a POS. They call it a Saturn POS. You can figure out what the POS stands for. So, but do you name your car, and what is the name of your vehicle? 844-770-3776. But we're gonna throw this up at Jim and Matt. It is a photo of what's wrong with Alex Strofe's car, and I want people to chime in with what's wrong with Alex Strofe's car. But Chris, what is wrong with Alex Strofe's car is he drives a blue Saturn. There is a hunk of metal hanging below the Saturn on the side of the road. And what would you had to guess what was wrong with that car?
His exhaust is hanging off the back.
The muffler. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. And so this is a text exchange that we had as a group. He said, I don't know what to do. And I told Strofe that your car may have crossed the Joe Flacco line, which means you are getting paid more money than you're worth to the team. Like Aaron Rodgers, I think this last year crossed the Joe Flacco line. That you're not a bad player. It's just you're getting paid too much money for what you're bringing. Now, the Saturn's a bad car, but still, because now it's probably, is it worth the money to get this Saturn fixed?
Right. Or just sell it.
Yeah, and just start over.
Yeah, you might as well.
And because it is not a great car. So I asked the question, is your car very loud right now? Because he didn't know what was wrong with it. He's like, it's not the muffler. And I was like, I didn't even acknowledge that. And then Matt Hamilton chimes in a little bit later, who is also competing right now in the Nationals, and replies back, I promise you that's your muffler. Like, how out of like non-mechanical, non-manly is Alex Strofe that he didn't even figure out that was his muffler. You do not have to know anything about cars.
I don't think there's any. You don't have to know a great deal about cars to know your muffler's hanging off.
Right. Also, because like a muffler, some things are just also perfectly named.
Yeah.
Like it's a muffler. It muffles the sounds of your car. Like there's obviously an exhaust part to it too, but still, like goodness. So anyways, 844-770-3776. We'll throw this up at Jim and Matt. And you can, if you are on social, you can chime in. What is wrong with it? It is clearly the muffler, but I think it's fair to make fun of Alex for not knowing that.
It is
the
definitely
muffler.
fair.
And then he posted a photo on Twitter, Alex Strofe on Twitter, and he posted a photo about drinking coffee at the mechanic. And it got me thinking, if I got a really good cup of coffee, I'll give him a shout out. It's Black Lotus is the place downstairs, and Jardine is the restaurant. I got a sandwich there too. I love their coffee. Coffee in the area, big fan of them. There's some other great places too. Ancora, none of these places work with us, so I'll shout them all out that I like. Collectivo too, like they're all great coffee places. So, I have this nice cup of coffee here. I love coffee. I make coffee at home for myself. I'll grind the beans, the whole thing. But there are some places where there's bad coffee, and Alex Strofe is a bad coffee connoisseur. Because the other day he got coffee from McDonald's.
He thought it was bad.
It's not good. It's not. That's not good coffee. Like that is.
I'm not a type of person that goes to a lot of coffee shops.
Yeah.
Like if I drink coffee, usually I just drink it at home.
Yes. Well, but again, what you make at home, I'm sure is better than what you get. Probably. I worked at a McDonald's a long time ago. I know what it is. It is a tick below what Folgers would be. And so my question is, and we'll throw up an Iron Jock poll question in a minute about it. We'll do that during the break here, but where's the worst cup of coffee? Is it like a mechanic? I think that's got to be high on the list.
It's got to be very high.
Like a fast food drive-through. It doesn't have to be specific to that. And then otherwise, probably a gas station.
Gas station might be number one.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know, because there's some places like, I don't know if you get down to Louisiana, like the best food in Louisiana is at the gas stations.
Well, and again, I don't know. It could be regional. We'll just kind of keep it to the area.
Ooh, that's a good question.
But it's also what type of coffee you drink. I'm sure if you go to Quick Trip and you load it up with all the sugar and all the coffee drinks that you get, you can put sugar in anything, and it's gonna taste okay. It doesn't mean it's good. Right. So, and then Alex G, who's behind the glass, is not a coffee drinker, so he doesn't really have a chime in on this. But
I'm not a coffee drinker either. It's a rarity for me.
I'm glad I'm not alone.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need it.
No judgment for me on it. I
like
now,
coffee though.
Yeah, it's not even the need of it. I do have it today, but today was a little more tired. I guess the kids got up a little early. I went to bed a little late, so it's my own fault. But normally, I just like the experience of the coffee. I like, it's especially when it's so cold outside. It's nice today, but still middle of the winter. Nice warm cup of coffee warms you up. I think it suppresses the appetite a little bit too. So okay, sure. I don't need the snack. I'll just have a little coffee, a little better for you than whatever I'm going to snack on. So I just like more the experience of it, drinking a nice warm coffee, but I want it to taste well.
Right.
So those are kind of the checks in there. So do you name your car? We'll get to the talk and text line during the break, 844-770-3776. Do you name your car, and where is the worst place to get a cup of coffee? Is it a gas station, your mechanic? And what was the other one we had here? It was gas
drive-through.
Like a drive-through. Yeah. I think those got to be high on the list. Maybe I don't think doctor's offices really put that out. So that's not like any sort of waiting room I was trying to think of, but I can't think of a waiting room that would put it. And your dentist definitely isn't doing it. They should. It'll help boost business a little bit, get that teeth whitening business going. But now we also need to get into LeBron James sets the record for the most amount of points in NBA history. I mean, it took him 338 more games to play than Jordan did. Whatever though. Setting that all aside, look, we've had this conversation before, and we're not going to do LeBron Jordan talk here. I put LeBron in the category of like Kareem and Karl Malone, and he's better than both of them. Of like, they're not their most, maybe it's the most impressive thing about them. Their peaks to me, it's not Jordan, but there is something. It's a different category. The longevity of their elite level play and being able to have an NBA career for as long to be able to accumulate those stats is something that's truly remarkable and should be celebrated to no less. So without a doubt, LeBron James is, and again, all we're arguing about is I say he's the second greatest basketball player of all time to the greatest. He's a great guy and does a lot of things for a lot of different communities, for his family, for everyone, by all accounts, good teammate, all of that. So we're not going to try to rip on LeBron. So the question though I have is that it seems like younger generations are far more into the player maybe than their team.
For sure.
So I want to ask as well, and Chris, you can hop in on this, 844-770-3776. Are you rooting more as a fan? Are you rooting for your favorite player to be accumulating MVPs? Because this ties to Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
A lot of MVPs, one ring. And I think in football, to move that next echelon, you need two at least.
Yeah.
Basketball, I think it's three.
Yeah,
there's a magic number.
I agree.
Or you click to the next group. The next, for me, it would be 3 and then 6 titles because it's a very small group that has the 6+. But you got to, for the NFL, I think you need 2. And then if you get over like 4, that's in a whole nother group there.
Right.
Or 4 up, 4 or more. And so Aaron's in the regular group. Now he's a Hall of Fame player, unquestionably. But similar to LeBron, there's plenty of people out there that would call Aaron Rodgers maybe the greatest quarterback of all time when you account for how he can sling the pill, all the MVPs he's won, all the stats he's put up.
Right.
He doesn't have the chips.
Yeah.
And so I want to know, as a fan, you care more about your favorite player getting MVPs and accolades and playing fantastic, or do you care about your team getting the chips? We've seen that in Wisconsin with Christian Yelich, MVP. Team didn't even get to the World Series.
Right.
We've seen Giannis get MVPs, but he has a ring too.
Yeah.
And so like he checked all the boxes. And so for me, I'm older. It's not like I want the players to do great, but if I'm a Packer fan, Aaron Rodgers goes to the Raiders. I don't want Rodgers to go to the Raiders and get a ring. I'm not like rooting against him, but I'm not celebrating his title.
Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see that. I think that, man, I think you brought up some great points. I think the younger, because I think I'm a part of that, where the younger generation is more so about the player. And I think it became that because I think the dynamics of sports changed. Like there used to be a little more pride, even in professional sports, of guys like playing for their team. Everybody wanted to stick with that same team. And I think that kind of died a little bit once players started voicing like, man, well, this team told me this, that, or whatever the case is, and realized like, oh, there's no actual like real loyalty there. I think the issue that Aaron Rodgers is in is that you can kind of count him with the era of like Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady and like even the younger quarterbacks now, like Patrick Mahomes, and their dominance is what's why people critique him so much. But I think football and basketball are a little different. I agree that there is a ring count that you need to hit, but I don't necessarily like, to me, if Aaron Rodgers, I guess it's a little different. Like, let's say if Aaron Rodgers had 3 rings right now, I don't necessarily think he has to get 4 more in order to be
totally agree.
Considered, like, you know what I mean?
But that same thing with basketball. I don't think whether LeBron or Jordan, they don't need to get to the 11 to be considered Bill Russell.
Right.
But I think you got to get into that tier.
You do have to, yes. I think there's a benchmark,
yes,
in order to enter these conversations.
Because we talked about this the other day. You weren't on the show. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady is a little bit of like a statistical like breaker, in the idea. Sure. And LeBron will be at this not with the wins, not with the titles, but with the stats.
Yeah,
just like Kareem was. Mm-hmm. Sometimes someone comes along and you almost have to put him as an outlier, and that's what LeBron, Jordan, like they're the outliers where it almost breaks how you can think about a game. Tom Brady the same way. You're not. Patrick Mahomes is not getting to 7. I just can't see a world. So? You know how hard it is to win this.
Yeah, it's hard.
It seems like if he gets to 5, that is amazing.
See, but the other thing that I think about is, especially with football, how much the game has changed. Like, even like Tom Brady talked about this. I don't know how many like podcasts you watch, but even Lawrence Taylor talked about it. Even in a 30 for 30 with the Bullies of Baltimore, they talk about it, and how the dynamics of football have changed because of the rules. Like, you can't hit this quarterback. And some of those rule changes, people don't know this, some of those rule changes didn't happen until like somebody like Tom Brady got hurt. Like Carson Palmer blew out his knee. All of a sudden, Tom Brady does it the next year. Now there's a strike window for the quarterback, which is very annoying. I hate it because to me, basketball, like, it's grown a little bit where it's not as physical as it was in the prior days, but the base of the game is the same. Like, it's still the same. A foul is still a foul, all of that. But in football, like, your quarterback has been given so much of an advantage that, like, or the offense in general, to be honest, has been given such an advantage that it's almost ridiculous. Like, for instance, on a crack toss play, a receiver can crack a defensive end or a linebacker. But if I was to kill a receiver on a slant, it's targeting, and he's a defenseless player, even though we're both in the same exact position. So, like, little stuff like that makes it more advantageous for the offense. So I think that's why in football, especially with like Aaron Rodgers' case, it's like, you can put on this tear statistically as a quarterback. And I think a lot of quarterbacks have the capacity to do that. But the outlier is that, if you really pay attention, like, Tom's helping his team. Mm-hmm. He does everything, any and everything to help his team, even in his style of play, which is why you don't see him eclipse like the passing yards title usually until a little later in the year. Whereas like a guy like Aaron Rodgers might come out firing on all cylinders, but in those tight knit games, he can't get it done. So I think that's the issue with Aaron Rodgers. I definitely think MVPs in football, especially, are so different. Like, it's a quarterback race. You know what I mean? It's a quarterback race. So it's like, if you're a top 5 quarterback in the league, you got a shot. Like, you got a shot. Your record almost doesn't really even matter that much. You just have to be good enough, to be honest. If you are on the brink of the playoffs, or even if you're in the playoffs and you lose in the wild card, it doesn't matter. You can still be an MVP. Whereas in basketball, like, man, you got to do everything.
Yep.
Like, everybody's almost held to the same standard, even though the positions are a little different. It's the same thing. It's about your points, your rebounds, your assists, your defense, all of that. Whereas, as a quarterback, you're so protected. It's so much easier for you. You don't have to worry about getting your receiver killed. Like, that used to be a part of the game. Like, hey, even though this dig or slant is open, I can't throw it because he's going to get his head knocked off. Versus now, it's like, oh man, I can do whatever I want. Like, he knows that these guys don't want to get kicked out of the game. You don't want to get fined, all these different things. You can't even land on a quarterback, which is something you even talk about in football. Like, man, we got to get body blows, man. We got to land on this guy all day. Like, we need him hurting by the end of the game. Whereas, like, some of those quarterbacks back in the day, like, they had to fight through that.
Yeah.
Where now it's like, oh man, I will get fined in the NFL. I don't know what it is now, but you will get fined like 30 to 50K if you land on the quarterback without bracing yourself.
Yep.
So sometimes if you try to brace yourself, like, man, you can tear your shoulder up, tear your elbow, whatever the case is. Like, I can't land on them. I can't sling them down. Even if I run over the running back and stumble over his legs and run into his knees, that's a penalty. And it's like, man, that used to be what was taught on offense. Like, hey, you don't go low inside of the A gap, which are the interior gaps. Mm-hmm. You don't cut block a blitzing linebacker, blitzing safety, whatever, because you don't want him to fall into your quarterback's lap or into your quarterback's knees. And like, even when offensive line play, like, man, you don't sling. That would keep people from holding and doing all these different things because at the end of the day, this could be more detrimental for me and my team. And that's a dynamic of the game that's lost now. So I think as a quarterback, I think it's become that much more important to win Super Bowls. Whereas in basketballs, it's changed a little bit, but not too much.
844-770-3776. We're asking you, do you care more about the individual accolades of your favorite player?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're calling in, I'd love to know your opinion. And if you have younger kids, what is their opinion on it? At least your thoughts on it. And that'll be our secondary Iron Jock poll question. But is it accolades or is it titles for your team? This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
This year, the only app you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Download FanDuel now so you can bet Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. So join FanDuel today with promo code PLAY to claim your no-sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That's promo code PLAY. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable sportsbook bonus bets, which expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, and Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksggamblinghelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. 1-800-522-4700 Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
When you open up a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, you're opening up more than just doors. You're unlocking potential. The potential to do your own thing, be your own boss, and steer your own success. Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van owners live, work, and play out their dreams, no matter how far off the beaten path it takes them. Because they know there's nothing like taking your own route and reawakening that spirit of adventure that lies within all of us. 16 body types, your choice of a gas or diesel engine, and thousands of ways to customize. A Sprinter van is capable and versatile enough to help drive your ambitions, wherever you want to take them. Go ahead. Now's the time. Unlock your potential inside a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors.
I got the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold. Everybody knows I got the magic in me. When I hit hit the floor, the girls come snapping at me. Now everybody wants a blast of magic, magic, magic.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from the Spark Building. Here's Chris Orr. I'm Jim Rutledge. And you can get into the show, 844-770-3776. We'll get you to your calls and text in a little bit. But we are talking about the question, and you can chime in. What is more important to you as a fan? I feel like I should move my food out of the way since social media queen is like here, and she's just videotaping me. People don't need to see my lunch in the video. But you can see us.
What'd you get?
I got the ham and Swiss from our friends at Jardine next door. That's my sandwich. I love that one. I worked out earlier today at Carbon World Health, so that definitely wore me out a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, you know what the worst? It's the Turkish get-ups. That is the worst workout.
That's a hard exercise.
That one gets me every time because it is your core, the whole thing. If you don't know it, you're basically laying on your back with one leg up, one hand down, and the other hand you're holding up some sort of weight. And I believe there's a Badger punter who did this Turkish get-up with like a stupid amount of weight.
Yeah,
do you know the amount of weight he had on there? I don't know how you can balance it.
I don't know if it was it was either 135 or like 95. One of those. I don't know
it was
if he
the
had a
bar.
25,
Like
45.
normal people, when you do it, you're holding up like, I don't know, it probably had like 30 pounds today. So like you're just holding that up and you get up. The balance of the bar is normally it's like a free weight you're holding, and he balanced the bar. Anyways, that's what I'm having for lunch there. But we are asking the question: do you care more now as a fan about the individual accolades? And yeah, I'm taking a slight shot at LeBron, but are you caring more about the individual accolades of scoring titles, MVPs, or do you care more about the rings for your team? Because Aaron Rodgers could be going to the Raiders or the Jets, and maybe he goes and wins a title over there.
Yeah.
And now, are you rooting for that to happen? It definitely adds to his legacy, but does it add to his legacy as a Packer fan? Where's LeBron James' team? Like, that's a little different here with Aaron and LeBron. That Aaron, if he does go somewhere else, that it'll be probably one more place, and then maybe he gets one more ring.
Right.
LeBron all over the place. And we don't need to talk about the LeBron part of it, but this is kind of where the players have come to. But now it's in sports, especially younger generation. Someone might be a Giannis fan for now. We talked about it yesterday. The number one selling jersey in the state of Wisconsin is Justin Fields.
That's crazy.
And kids, I think, definitely under, in high school and younger are more fans of the player than their team.
Yeah.
But 844-770-3776. Do you care more about the championship for your team or the success and accolades of your favorite player?
Yeah, I mean, that's tough because then sometimes I think about, I don't know, whoever your opinion might be on who the greatest defensive player is in NFL history or whatever. Let's just say it's Deion Sanders, for example.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't compare his Super Bowls because he doesn't have that much. He doesn't have that much of an impact.
Right. So let's keep it specific, though. Like we're talking about quarterback in this case. If baseball's tough, but I mean, look, there's Brewer fans that love Christian Yelich. He, as the best player on that team, they didn't get it done. They had the number one seed, MVP, didn't get it done. And so at the end of the year, we had this discussion when it was happening. Man, that's my whole point is if your guy, I don't care if Giannis goes and wins an MVP and they don't win a title. That was a great ride. Don't get me wrong. A great ride. But in the end, I'm not reflecting back on that year with great memories of Giannis dominating people.
Yeah.
I'm remembering the year that they won a title and they beat the Suns and all those moments in the NBA Finals and Giannis having one of the greatest NBA Finals performances of all time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm remembering.
Right.
I don't remember I couldn't tell you the years that Giannis won the MVPs because if he didn't win the ring, it's just going to fade away.
Yeah.
And for me, that's how I root for. I want my team to win. Now, obviously, the best player on my favorite team playing great really adds to the chances that you're going to be winning that title.
Right. See, I think it just depends on like why you became a fan in the first place. So like me in particular, especially with basketball, I never had a team. Like I never had a single team.
Not a Mavericks fan?
Nah. When I was younger, man, I loved Manu Ginobili.
How could you not?
Yeah,
the Spurs were killing it for you down there.
Yeah.
I mean, they were kind of boring, but Tony Parker had some moves, and Manu had it.
Yeah.
I believe Popovich said the only player that ever reminded him as far as the intensity of Michael Jordan was Manu.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
So that guy was just like a dyed in the wool,
Right.
like ironclad winner. Like he
See-
just was like, I will do whatever it takes to win.
Right.
Competitor to the 10th degree.
Right. See, and I became a Ginobili fan because I didn't know much about basketball, and I would ask my brothers like, man, like give me somebody. Me and my brothers used to do this thing when we was younger. We would basically pit our favorite players against each other whenever they played or whatever, and my favorite player is better than yours, whatever the case
Of
is.
course,
So
yeah.
I didn't
Always
know anybody in
competing as brothers.
basketball, and they would tell me about Ginobili, and I'm like, all right. So I rooted for Ginobili, but I never really cared if the Spurs won the NBA championship.
How'd you
And
feel
then-
when Ginobili and those Spurs beat your guy, LeBron?
I mean, I didn't feel bad. That's when I became a LeBron fan, actually.
Okay.
That's when I became a LeBron fan.
When Ray Allen bailed him out, I'm just gonna take shots at you throughout.
there we
No,
go.
all right, go ahead.
Nah. But that's when I became a LeBron fan. And like I'm not from Cleveland or anything like that. So I didn't feel bad when he left Cleveland. Like I rooted for him to leave. I'm like, man, you need to get out of there,
But
man. They're not
that's
surrounding you with any talent. Like he needs to leave.
But
Like,
that's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
That LeBron, and again, I want to make this about Rodgers, but
Mhm.
he started the player empowerment, and that's great. I
Yeah,
don't have any
for
knock
sure.
against that. It's more of, I think it also started rooting for
Mhm.
the name on the back of the jersey over the name on the front of the
Exactly.
jersey. And LeBron
Yeah.
was the forefront of that. And so
Mhm.
that's why I'm asking the question, do you care more about individual accolades or championships? 844-770-3776. Because it seems more likely than
Yeah.
ever that if Aaron Rodgers gets another MVP
Mhm.
or wins another title, that won't be in Green Bay.
Yeah.
It's not obviously a foregone conclusion, but that could be the case. And like, how would you feel about it? But LeBron bounced around so many times.
Mhm.
I would say LeBron's biggest legacy is with the Heat. He's a Miami Heat player.
No, I think it's Cleveland. I think it's Cleveland.
You got one title there.
I think it's Cleveland because you're from Ohio, you're from the Cleveland area, right?
I know, but
Akron. Like you're from there, you're the best player coming out of high school. Like you go to your hometown team, they're the lottery, they haven't won in forever. You get them to a few finals, but you don't end up winning it yourself. But during your time there, especially early in your career, you're the best player in the NBA, or at least the most exciting, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
You surpass, like, I guess, the individual limitations, but the one thing everybody kept saying was like, oh, he can't win. I think that LeBron went to Miami. I think people always forget about this. I think people forget about the Boston Celtics being the first big three, at least of the newer generation, and happening through free agency and not through the draft. Like, honestly, I think
You're talking about
back in
Paul Pierce.
Yeah, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett,
Ray
Ray
Allen.
Allen,
Yep.
that big three, and then they end up drafting
Rajon
Rondo. But that big three formed to stop LeBron, and they kind of did it not really as well. And then I think that's
Dallas was able to do it too.
yeah.
No big three there, just one big old German guy.
I love Dirk. Dirk is a legend in Dallas.
And the corpse of Jason Kidd. I love that team.
yeah,
Who was the little guy? JJ Barea?
JJ Barea,
Yeah.
Jason Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
How that team beat that Heat team is some.
see, but even
I need
there,
that. I need a doc on that.
even there, like me being from Dallas, like it felt good. I felt good for like the city of Dallas that
Yeah.
like Dallas won. But like I probably would have been happier if LeBron got it, just because I'm like I want LeBron to shut everybody up or whatever the case is. But I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's the growth in social media coming alive to where you're getting more personal with a lot of these athletes? You're able to see them more. Whereas, like, back in the day, unless you were a big market team, you had your local team. And I think that's where, like, a quote older generation, where it's like, man, I'm from here. This is my team. If I spent my entire life here up until college, I'm rooting for them because that's what I see all the time, or maybe even their rival, whatever the case is. So,
No, I agree. Because I mean, for an example, why Lil Wayne likes the Packers is beyond me. But I'm sure social media is a big part of it.
Mhm. It was no. He said it was because the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Green Bay played in it with Brett Favre or something like
Okay,
that.
but then
And
he's
that's
able
where
to
he became a
follow
fan.
along as media gets bigger and
Mhm.
you have this social media. You're able to get these sort of connections that you
Right.
wouldn't normally have.
Mhm.
And a quick pause to give a lot of respect to. I mean, what LeBron has been able to do in the spotlight. Forget
Crazy.
expectations set on
Yeah.
him and reaching them.
Mhm.
I mean, just not going insane.
Yeah. Crazy.
Under this pressure. All you have to do is look at one of his former teammates and see
Man.
how guys can crack under the pressure. So, like, good on LeBron. I mean, that is not
Yeah.
something that I'm taking lightly at
Mhm.
all. Like, he's gone out
Mhm.
there and has been a representative for his family, the NBA, and all his
Mhm.
teams for a long time
Yeah.
and never wilted, never had some major controversy under the pressure.
Could you imagine if like Floyd Mayweather never went to clubs, didn't get a lot of his money off of like gambling and stuff like that? If he was just, the humblest as they come, always paying homage to whoever came before him, but still had the drive or whatever to say like, I'm going to be the best. I want to be the best.
Are you insinuating LeBron's like super humble?
I do think LeBron's humble. I think LeBron didn't start talking until later on in his career. Yeah. If we're being honest.
No, I'm not. I can't.
If we're hold on. I have a question.
I can't
for
give you that.
Okay, I have a question for you. So I'll give an example. My example is JT. JT is the most humblest person I've ever met. Jonathan Taylor. Humblest person I ever met in my entire life. So to me, it's like I'm imagining it like towards JT's like last year, we had to tell him like, bro, you're the best running back in the nation. Like, stop when you go to these interviews and they're asking you about other backs and who do you think's the best back in the country, all these different things. He would always praise about all these different guys or whatever. I just imagine it like with LeBron first decade of his career, nothing like that. Nothing like that. After that, he finally got tired of hearing this narrative of like, man, he's just still not good enough. When at the end of the day, it's like this guy came out supposed to being like, if you go back and look at what he was supposed to be when he came out, he surpassed that. And he already surpassed it early on in his career. I think it just got to the point where he was like, man, I'm tired of hearing this. Like, I'm tired of people trying to tell me like I'm not one of the best ever. And I'm just going to own it. I'm going to own it. Like, I know I'm the best. And everybody in this league knows I'm the best. I am the alpha male in this league. I am that lion. When you come onto the court and you witness you're playing me, you're astonished. Like, now he's to the point now where he's playing people's kids that he played against. It's like, yeah, I whooped your dad and I'm about to whoop you too. Like, that is, I don't think people understand like how hard that is. Like, even like Tom Brady being to the point where he is, and it's like people are coming up to him telling him, man, I remember watching you when I was young, and he was dominating then, because I remember watching him dominate when I was young and playing with him in one of the first Maddens and stuff like that. To even when I played against him, I'm like, damn, that's Tom Brady over there. Like, he's killing us. He's killing us. He's killing us, and he's 45.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that like LeBron isn't great. I'm just saying like
I don't think he's humble.
But can you be humble as one of the best in the world?
Well, and we can talk about, we have to get to the other side. In no world is anyone but Chris Orr ever called LeBron James humble, but I guess, you can roll with it. At Canopy Wealth Management, they take the time to truly get to know and understand the dynamics of your values, goals, and plans for your family. No family fits a generic mold, and neither should your financial plan. At Canopy, their clients' financial goals are something they're constantly striving to help reach maximum potential, which is why you should reach out to them today. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Jonathan Taylor, pro running back and UW Credit Union member. Now that I'm always on the road, I need mobile banking that can keep up. That's why I use the UW Credit Union app. It lets me pay bills, send money to friends, and check my credit score. Whether I'm in Indianapolis or Ixonia, Jersey or Janesville, Miami or Milwaukee, get mobile banking that gets you with UW Credit Union. Join today at uwcu.org.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone and let us leave a legacy on your home. Roofing, windows, gutters, siding, and decks. Can Legacy do it? You bet. Better prices, better warranties. Legacy always makes it easy. Go to legacy-exteriors.com. Legacy Exteriors. Just pick up the phone. Let us leave a legacy on your home.
Your friend could tell you to go to TLC Laser Eye Centers for LASIK. But when your eye doctor tells you to go to TLC Laser Eye Centers for LASIK, you book your consultation. TLC has performed over 2.3 million LASIK procedures nationally, and that includes treatment for over 10,000 doctors. LASIK takes minutes, with most patients back to normal activities the next day. So come see why TLC Laser Eye Centers is the doctor's choice for LASIK.
Right now, TLC is offering $1,000 off their Wavelight laser when treated in February. That's $500 off per eye. So call 888-TLC-2020 or visit saveontlc.com. That's saveontlc.com. The doctor's choice for LASIK. Must mention this promotion and be treated in February of 2023 to qualify. $1,000 off for both eyes on standard Wavelight price. $500 off for one eye. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to saveontlc.com for details.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
That's it. That'll do it. Down goes the second-ranked team in the state. La Follette hands Middleton its first loss of the season in overtime. 75-72.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, Nations Lending, and the Great Dane.
A new era of Wisconsin football kicks off on September 2nd, and now is your chance to be there when Coach Fickle and the team takes the field. Order your season tickets today. The 7-game home schedule includes Ohio State and Iowa matchups with a savings of up to $222 over the single-game pricing. For more information and to purchase your Wisconsin football season tickets, visit uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. That's uwbadgers.com.
Wisconsin is as hardworking of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
Checking in with the talking text line 844-770-3776. JB from the V chimes in. I do not name my car. I'm an adult. Chris Orr, Jim Rutledge with you. Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. And we did ask the question, do you name your car? And Chris Orr?
Betty.
Betty.
Big
And
Betty.
We
big
have
white Chevy.
We have Lady Hotfire and the Beast at the Rutledge household. The girls,
That's
including my
cool,
wife,
man.
all named the Jeep, the Lady Hotfire. And they also named the Beast, the Beast. So then Adam and Madison chimes in. Lots of Gold Star coffees in lobby businesses. Not terrible, some better than others. Most of those now, I feel like, Adam, have switched to, we did ask the question, where's the worst cup of coffee you can get, as Alex Strofe is at the Mechanic. And that coffee, I guarantee, is awful.
Horrible.
And then I drive through like
Very
McDonald's
disgusting.
coffee, any of those places, trash coffee. And then also you think of like who's making it.
Yeah.
You got some like 17-year-old that doesn't want to be there. They're half-assed
Just
following the
throwing it in
direction.
there.
Yeah, they're just kind of running whatever. So like that's got to be part of it as well. And then let's see here. Chris from Manitowoc Waters chimes in. I do not know from experience, but I cannot imagine prison coffee is good. Well, okay. I'm going to go ahead and assume like where places are going to drink coffee. You got bigger problems than the coffee if you're in prison, Chris. But fair point.
They probably love coffee, man.
And sorry, but as far as naming a vehicle, I really think there's only one option, and it's a boat, not a car or a truck. Well, I'm not putting the name of the truck on there, but I get it.
I can see that.
Sadler Madison chimes in. Alex's car needs to be on life support. That's fair. And then taken to the monster truck rally and crushed by one of those monster trucks. Mike, the postman, chimes in. Hotel coffee is gross. That's a good point. But like, for example, I was up at Sand Valley this weekend. That's more of a resort. Their coffee was really good. And they had, and many, again, the last few places I've stayed at have been some sort of like, maybe not a full-on resort, but resort sort of feel to it. So not like a Holiday Inn, but like I stayed at the Ridge in Lake Geneva not that long ago. They have the Keurigs in the room, And so like that coffee is usually pretty good.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
And so, but otherwise like
make at home.
lobby coffee at the hotel, that's pretty rough. And look, I've gone to plenty of networking events and had that coffee. It ain't great. And then chimes in with name on the front, less than the name on the back for Mike the Postman. Chris, if you don't know the story, that's my actual postman in Oregon. He listens to it. Yeah. So it's always a fun little story there.
That's funny.
Brett O'Clair chimes in. Championship before team. Players come and go. I'm a Cubs fan, so 2016 stands out. But I don't care if Brian or Baez win a title outside the Cubs. Absolutely. I have zero.
Yeah, see, but he's a Cubs fan.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's I'm trying to think of an example I could pull from this. Well, Ray Allen might be that, to be honest. But I guess the Seattle Sonics disappeared and became the Thunder, so it's a little different. But I don't know. I'll just take football, for example. Like, you became majority of people that were like Patriot fans became Tom Brady fans because he came to the Patriots.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
I have got a question. Like, if let's say this year the Green Bay Packers move on from Aaron Rodgers, and like I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan and a fan of the Packers. If the Packers won a Super Bowl, I think I would be like less excited because I don't get to watch Aaron Rodgers win one.
Yeah.
What do you think about like that dynamic? Yeah.
I think it's because of the history of the Packers. You know, you've had back-to-back tenures with long-standing quarterbacks.
Right. And I do want to say, Jim, you seem shocked. If it's because Jordan Love is playing lights out, it looks like he's the guy of the future, then I'm excited again.
Yeah.
But like without Aaron Rodgers and the things that he does on the field, I'm a little bummed out.
Yeah.
Not bummed out, obviously. Like I just would be more excited to win one with Rodgers, let him walk off into the sunset, and that would be cool.
I'm going to say it like this, and I mean this with all respect. I don't think you know like what would be happening otherwise. You only know rooting for a great quarterback.
Right.
Like, for an example, now the Bears didn't win the Super Bowl, but when they went to the Super Bowl down in Miami, it was Devin Hester, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs. That defense was top 3 all time, whether it's the 85 Bears or that Ravens team or this Bears team.
Yeah.
And if they'd won the Super Bowl, they'd be right there in that conversation. So they're 3 to 5 as far as one of the greatest defenses of all time. Because they carried Rex Grossman and Cedric Benson, and God knows, I can't even tell you the trash they had at wide receiver. They carried that team all the way to the Super Bowl. And so the excitement was watching Urlacher make some big-time interceptions, the sacks that Lance Briggs was getting, the peanut punch, and then Devin Hester on the kick and punt return. So if the Packers get back, I get in a vacuum, you're just like, well, there's no excitement. They get back, that means Rashawn Gary's turned into like Lawrence Taylor or Jair Alexander's is having Alexander's having a Deion Sanders type year. And so you'd have something different to be excited about.
And like, I don't want to take away from that. Like, that is definitely something so exciting. And I enjoy watching defensive plays more than I enjoy watching offensive plays. So maybe I'll eat my shorts if it ends up happening. But like, I remember there's a play against the Bears where Aaron Rodgers is getting slung around in the pocket. He's getting tackled while falling away, throws like a 45-yard dart to Devontae Adams. The play gets called back for holding, but like, that's special. And like, I feel like that's a level of special play that you really only get at the quarterback position.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, there's special play at every position.
Absolutely.
I think it just looks different.
You're just not used to it, though.
Yeah,
Packer fans, good or
That's
bad,
exactly
you're
what
just
it
not used to it. You'll see it at some point. You're going to have to see it. And honestly, if nothing else, you just appreciate maybe Devontae more because you kind of got lost in the wash of like giving that credit to Aaron. Well, now it sure looks like that was Devontae who was a large part of what was going on with the Green Bay Packers. Also, good point here from Yard Possum from Lake Mills. Don't ever drink coffee out of a Keurig in a hotel room. The bacteria is terrible. That's a great point. That's point. So now I'm done with that. I'm done now drinking coffee from the hotel Keurig because that is, I have to clean we do have a Keurig. I don't drink much out of it. My wife does. So we do have to clean that.
Yeah.
You run vinegar through it and kind of clean it every once in a while. I guarantee the hotel's not doing it. So yes, great life advice there from the Yard Possum. We have Minute to Win It coming up next. That is brought to you by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. They have 3 great locations, one in Madison, one in DeForest, one in Verona. All 3 of those locations are going to give you a great experience. So check out North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Madison, Verona, and DeForest. So we will take, in honor of LeBron James, caller number, what number is he?
Right now?
6. 6. Caller number 6. And caller number 3, we'll split the difference. 844-770-3776. Caller number 3 and caller number 6, 844-770-3776. Caller number 3 and caller number 6 are entered to win that $50 gift card from North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. You pick. Will I win minute to win it, or will Chris Orr win minute to win it? 844-770-3776. Caller number 3 and caller number 6. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
There may be snow on the ground, but now is the time to get excited about enjoying the outdoors on luxury patio furniture. Let the trained staff at the Bruce Company help you bring your outdoor dreams to life. The Bruce Company, your outdoor living experts. A Wisconsin quarterback will not return to Madison in 2023. According to Jesse Temple of The Athletic, Chase Wolf will not return to Madison after originally declaring he would. Wolf started at quarterback in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl win over Oklahoma State back in December and played 4 seasons at Wisconsin. Wolf finishes his career as a Badger with 3 touchdown passes and will not compete for the starting quarterback job this fall under new head coach Luke Fickell following the arrival of quarterbacks Nick Evers and Tanner Mordecai from the transfer portal.
Lock in your prices at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin by February 28th and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
The best quality roofs, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed and at an affordable price. Hi, this is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Integrity, excellence, quality, and community are what we value here at Ridgetop because we want to do a great job to help our friends and neighbors. We always want to exceed expectations because customer service is our number one goal. We're trusted local experts you can count on for your home exterior projects. Thanks for choosing Ridgetop Exteriors for your home's next project. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com for a free estimate.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Help us close the book on 2022. We have some 2022 Audis still in stock and ready for delivery. You can also take advantage of 4.99% APR financing for up to 60 months on most 2022 models. Available on select models. See dealer for details and exclusions. $1,887 a month per $1,000 finance. No down payment required. Qualified buyers through Audi Financial Services. Offer ends February 28th. See your Audi brand specialist to set up your test drive today. If you're wanting to leave 2022 in the dust, check out our website to view the variety of 23 models arriving daily. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Zimrick Audi of Madison, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Every piece of land has a story. Some write theirs behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor, like the Upshaws.
This is my tractor Penny. It's all about attention to detail.
But the Nelsons love cruising around their expansive Montana ranch in their John Deere Gator UV.
We've been here since 1868.
While the Caggianos drive a John Deere zero-turn mower to keep their Long Island brewery looking sharp.
Don't call me, don't bother me. I'm going out to mow for a couple hours.
Run with us and start telling your story. Learn more at johndeere.com/radio.
Chris, this needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
Coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Dr. Schwab is a board-certified general surgeon who can help with many simple and outpatient procedures to alleviate varicose and spider veins. Visit StoughtonHealth.com to learn more. StoughtonHealth.com. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Welcome back to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. No Hamilton, no Chris Orr right now. It's just me, Jim Rutledge, because we're going to play Minute to Win It in a second. It is brought to you by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. You can go check them out in Madison, in Verona, or in DeForest, whether it's takeout, you want to have it delivered, or you want to eat there. Your experience is going to be fantastic. I recommend their shrimp, and their brisket is amazing. So let's get the minute to win it and see who's going to win this $50 gift card from our friends at North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
Are you on Team Rutledge or Team Hamilton?
I don't want to pick sides.
This is the Minute to Win It, presented by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, with 3 locations in Madison, DeForest, and Verona.
So we had 2 Wanakee callers call in today. That's
wow, from the only Wanakee in the world.
It's so exciting.
Is one of them the president? I was hoping the president would call and I want to play Minute to Win It. No.
Oh man, no. I think
No.
he's downstairs, according to Tom. I don't think that's true, but
oh man,
he's in town.
Well, don't say that. You're gonna get knocked out by the Secret Service. I feel like if he was downstairs, the Secret Service would at least made a check up here.
That's what I'm saying. So I think Tom was just yanking my leg, but thought I'd throw it out there.
I mean, people do love the show, but he'd be disappointed because if he was here, he'd be here to see Matt Hamilton in that
for
gold
sure,
medal.
yeah.
He'd be like, "Oh, it's just you."
Just some guy named Jim.
Right? Yep.
So in honor of the great LeBron James breaking the all-time scoring record, I am requesting the top 10 highest scoring Packer players of all time. And you were picked over Chris by Katie from Wanakee. So looking good so far.
Chris trying to cheat right now. He's looking hanging outside the door there. All right.
All
So
right.
scoring, and we give Chris the same thing. That means like the kickers and
kickers are included. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
All right. We're gonna go with Mason Crosby.
Correct.
All righty. Ryan Longwell.
That's 1 and 2.
All righty. Is there any other kickers in there? You know what? I'll just take a random shot for a second here, and I will go with. Well, you know what? Before we get to that, let me think of Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams is number 9 on that list.
All righty. Now, this is my question. I'll answer one or the other. So I'll go with Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers
So-
is not on
so
the
the
list. Hold on
quarterbacks-
1 second. It looks like the list that I've pulled up has 0 quarterbacks. So no quarterbacks on the list.
Okay, so then I'm going to go with Sterling Sharp on this list.
Sterling Sharp is number 12 on this
Okay,
list.
so I have 1 off or 2 off?
One. We'll just give the
Okay,
one.
so then I'll take another shot at a kicker, Chris Jackie.
Chris Jackie's number 4 on the list.
All righty. And let's see here. Adams, so wide receivers.
Got
Jordy
10
Nelson.
seconds. Jordy Nelson is on the list.
Otherwise, big time. Greg Jennings. I'll take a shot there. Last one.
Greg Jennings is not on the list.
So 1,
No.
2, 3, 4, 5. Is that what
You
you got?
did get a 5 spot,
Okay.
and we'll let that last one slide. Now, I've got some bad news.
Yeah.
The system here seems to have crashed, and it's back. We're good. So
Okay.
never mind.
That's
We're all-
happened pretty regularly now as we can bring in Chris Orr and I will, Alex, I got it. All right. So Chris can hear me now, but as Chris is sitting down to kind of expedite the time here, Chris, 2 things. 1, no quarterbacks on this list. A little cheat code for you there. So that was the main thing. No quarterbacks on this list is what you want to know for this. And then turn on your mic, and then Alex will tell you the rest. But I got this hint during it, but he didn't count my knockout for it. So we'll give you the hint ahead of time. No quarterbacks on this list.
No quarterbacks on the list. We are taking the top 10 highest scoring Packers of all time. And your time starts now.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know. I don't know that much history of the Packers. Mason Crosby.
Mason Crosby's number 1.
Yeah. Is Devontae Adams on the list?
Number 9 on the list.
Oh, he's down low. Man, is I gotta think of the running backs. Is Kuhn on the list?
No, he is not. Nowhere near.
That was a big reach, man.
I know.
Was that just a suggestion for Alec?
Man, I'm
making my fullback still good.
Amon Green.
Amon Green is number 11 on the list. Not quite.
I'm done. I have no clue.
No, I'm not going to give you too much, but
It really puts Chris in a tough spot.
there's
So good job by
few
Katie.
older
picking me.
ones.
Yeah, but how's he going to know these?
Yeah, I don't know Packer history. Oh man.
5.
I'm trying to think of all the receivers that played
3,
there.
2, 1. All righty, that
You're
is
done.
your time. Yeah, that's it was a valiant effort. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't consider it when I started this list. I put you at an intense disadvantage here. It was to honor LeBron James, but yeah, tough. So Jim wins, but let's go over the top 10 really quick.
I had a 5 spot. And
Yeah, five?
so kickers is where you got to go. But that's
Yeah, I
really
couldn't think of
hard.
any more kickers besides Crosby.
You have no idea who Chris Jackie is. Or Ryan Long. Maybe Ryan Longwell, maybe you saw him like when you're younger.
Ryan Longwell rode my bicycle.
There you go. You know
at
this?
camp?
Yeah.
See, I can't play for the Packers, man. I don't know how to ride a bike. Forgot.
God, I don't know.
Forgot. You know how people say it's just like riding a bike. I stopped riding bikes probably when I was like 8 or 9. Like even after I learned, I rode them for a little bit, and then it was like, all right, I don't need to do this anymore.
It's a tad overrated.
And then I get to college, and
in the most bikeable city in America.
Man, a couple of my teammates was like, man, let's just go on some bikes and like go. We coming from the Jope, and let's just go to the terrace or something. And I'm like, all right, get on a bike. Can't do it. Can't do it at all.
Did you fall over?
It's either I balance and I can't pedal, or I pedal and I can't balance.
But don't all the football players have like mopeds? Like you had to balance that.
I didn't get a moped.
Dang,
I
did not like
man,
you.
I used my 2 feet, man. Use my 2 feet. I told you I was a homebody. See, people don't believe me. I like staying at the house. After your freshman year, you can live wherever. I got my apartment as close to the stadium as possible. Actually, I lied. My first couple of years since I wanted to live with Zach, and we wanted to keep living together and live with TJ and Hoff. We lived actually pretty far.
So hold
ride
on.
with them.
Zach Bond?
Yeah, Zach Bond.
TJ Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the other guy is.
Rafael.
Okay, we know Rafael.
Yeah, yeah.
Not all of us know all the nicknames, Chris,
Oh,
of all your
my
Badger
bad.
teammates
My
here.
bad.
People love these stories of your. I was pretty happy with myself guessing those.
Yeah,
players
that was
there.
good.
So let's run through the top 10. We did have Mason Crosby, who's nearly twice as many points as anyone else on the list. He's got 19,000, number one, or 1,900 rather.
19,000 points. All right.
Ryan Longwell was number 2 with just over 1,000, and number 3, Don Hudson, an absolute classic,
God, yeah.
who has 171 points.
The only reason you would know that one is because the Don Hudson Center, kind of like the McLean Center, is important. So you might have heard someone say that, but otherwise,
the father of modern receiving. Come on, Jim. Then you've got Chris. Yeah, I'm sorry. We've got Chris Jackie, another kicker, but he was in the 80s and 90s. Paul Horning, Jim Taylor.
Oh, I could have got Paul.
Chester Marcole.
Who? That's made up.
That one,
Is that a Madden guy? Like, is that like a Madden made up?
1972 to 1980, he was our kicker. That one felt like no one was going to get it. But then we've got Fred Kuhn, Devontae Adams, and Jordy Nelson.
So you had a Kuhn, but just the
Yeah.
wrong one. You were thinking of Fred Kuhn then, right?
Yeah. All I said was Kuhn.
Cone, probably.
I should have just.
And then for
I
some
should've just
reason,
said random names like Ryan. I definitely would have got that.
Right.
Think of some old Don. I definitely would have got that.
You're on a first name basis.
If I'm just saying names, I should have did that.
And then for some reason, Aaron Rodgers is on this list, listed at number 30 overall. So I guess maybe it doesn't take passing touchdowns.
That's what I was thinking.
weird.
That's why I said I'd take one shot, and I said one quarter. Like I knew that Aaron would have more points, but I guess it's a little bit like fantasy, like running.
Weird.
Yeah, so it's the running points that.
That's weird. I think it should go to both him and the receiver.
But then quarterbacks dominate the list again.
That's true.
So it's just a little different.
Gosh,
One
I
thing
can't
before we
stand
go to
quarterback.
break here, I just want to see your Packer. You're gonna know the last name Sharp, right? In the NFL.
Mhm.
Who are the Sharps that you know? Shannon,
Shannon Sharp,
obviously, yeah.
Shannon and his brother
Sterling. So you
Yeah,
know Sterling. Okay,
Yeah.
so like that was
That's
yeah, but that's it. But I'm saying like Sterling was before your time.
I knew Sterling played with the Packers.
I mean, he was
knew that.
honestly, he would have gone down as good or better than Devontae Adams if he didn't have the neck injury. I
Yeah.
mean, what the numbers he put up in an era that you didn't put up those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
One of the most dominating football players I've ever seen in my life was Sterling Sharp.
Mm.
All right, we will come back. We'll take some more calls on the coffee and on everything else, including individual accolades versus championships. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Whether catering an event or dining in, I recommend North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Jim Rutledge here, and from their slow-cooked brisket to their fish fry and everything in between, North and South Seafood and Smokehouse has earned our love on Rutledge and Hamilton. They're the official barbecue joint of our show, and they should be your first choice the next time you eat out. Tell them Jim and Matt sent you. North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Madison, Verona, and DeForest.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
We're rocking and rolling here on ESPN Madison on a Wednesday afternoon, and it is your Sports Center brought to you by the Green and Gold Fix podcast. Home to the best Packers conversation from ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe, rate, and review the Green and Gold Fix podcast on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and anywhere you get your podcasts. But the Bucs have the day off before they're back in action tomorrow after a 127-108 win over the Trailblazers last night. The Bucs will travel to Los Angeles to take on the new all-time leading scorer LeBron James and the LA Lakers. LeBron broke the record last night against the Thunder despite the Bucs rolling in with an 8-game win streak. ESPN's matchup predictor gives the Lakers a 57% chance of winning that game. And we're going to go from pros back to the college realm, where the Badgers are back in action tonight as they travel to Pennsylvania to take on the Nittany Lions. Penn State. The Badgers are 4-point underdogs in this game, which I guess does make sense as they've dropped 7 of their last 9. And we'll wrap it up with a little bit of Rodgers Watch, as yesterday he joined the Pat McAfee show to talk about his decision-making process and the darkness retreat. We'll have more on that right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
You got to chill. Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
This year isn't going to be the greatest year. Like, they have limits. If Coach Gard gets a talking to, I get it, right? Like, you have to perform. What I will say for Greg is anytime he has been
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Madison studio with Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from the Spark Building. We're presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, Alex G. You know what to do.
And that's Crush Coors Light.
Absolutely. Going to crush Coors Light after today's show. Don't forget about the X Cup National Tournament Series. 10 national tournaments running October 22nd through the 23rd with one national champion. You can play that at X Golf in Madison or in Middleton. Earn points by playing in 10 challenging tournaments with individual prizes to win each tournament. The winning prize for the current tournament is $3,000 cash. The overall winner of the series receives an all-expense-paid trip to Cabo. So go to X Golf in Madison or in Middleton. Make sure you set a tee time as well. You can go to xgolfwisconsin.com for more information. They also have an app. Jim Rutledge, Chris Orr, talking about individual accolades, first titles. What do you care more about? I do think the younger generation cares more about those individual accolades, but also where's the worst cup of coffee in honor of Alex Strofe or having to drink mechanic coffee today. Hotel coffee from Mike the Postman was a very good suggestion right now. Otherwise, drive-through coffee, gas station coffee, all those are pretty suspect. But, to each their own on that. And we're also asking, do you name your car? Nobody does so far, 844-770-3776. And if you do, what is the name of your car?
I stole the name of my car.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Stole it from my high school linebacker coach, Brian Stansberry. He had this old beat up truck. He used to pick me up in it and we do like extra workouts or whatever. Man, it was so beat down. I remember one time it was past E for his like fuel. And he's like, you think we're going to make it? I'm like, no, take me home because I'm not pushing your truck. He just petted her and said, come on, Daddy. And we got there. So I'm like, This is a good name. I'm gonna name my truck Betty.
How close to E do you push it?
I don't push it.
No,
I don't push it at all. I rarely let my light come on.
G.
Ever since I had a 1990 car, it froze. It was a quarter tank and it froze shut, so I couldn't start the car. I don't go below a quarter tank anymore.
Oh,
that's crazy. I've never had that happen. It's always like what they talk about could happen if it's too low.
Yeah.
I've never actually had that happen. I'm not filling up until it dings. And then when it dings, I'm still watching it. Like the other day I got home, I think it was like Sunday, I took the car out for something, the truck out for something, and it dinged. But then I took the girls to school on Monday, to school and back. And then I think maybe I drove my wife's car on Tuesday. I didn't take the truck into the office. So then Tuesday I took them to school. And then on the way home from school on Tuesday, I got gas. But it was after it had dinged. And it was definitely something I used to do a lot more of when I didn't have any money. You'd be like, I'm just going to ride this out, which is still just stupid because it's like, well, regardless of when you put, you're going to use the gas, but you kind of get to that point that will definitely happen from time to time. 844-770-3776. Let's get out to Rob in Madison. Rob, what's on your mind?
How's it going, guys?
Going great.
What's up, Rob?
You're talking about vehicle names, and I got a new work truck 2 years ago, and I named it Big Sexy.
Love it. It's a big truck. A truck named Big Sexy is good.
That's a good name.
Yeah, I have. Did you have any other vehicles named before that?
Yep.
Did you have any other named vehicles before you got Big Sexy?
I said thanks for your call, and he said goodbye.
Gotcha.
My apologies.
No worries. So the Beast is another one as well.
Oh,
so
somebody else has a
no,
Beast.
I'm saying that's one that I had as well. So the Beast, Big Sexy, those are all different names out there for Strophs. I think we're just going with POS.
Piece of Saturn, right?
Exactly. Should we look if we can get an update on this? Should we see? Why don't you right now give him a call on the hotline, G, call the other Alex, see if he'll pick up and he can tell us how much money, because I don't think it's worth it for Alex Strofe here. And if you're tuning just in at Jim and Matt is where you can see it. You can see the vehicle, the picture of his muffler fell off his Saturn. Yeah. We looked this up the other day. I think his Saturn, if you went to go buy to the dealership, would be like $3,000.
Oh yeah, get rid of that.
Right, because nobody's giving you if you're trying to sell it on your own, he might be able to walk out of it with $1,000. But now here's the problem: he went too far with it. And do we have? Alex?
We've got Alex Strofe on Comrex.
He's on the.
What's going on, fellas? How are we?
We are doing good. How about you?
I've had a hell of a day, boys. Had a hell of a day.
So for a couple things first here,
yeah,
Alex,
hit me.
We asked one of our Iron Jack poll questions was, where's the worst place? And you are a bad coffee connoisseur. You don't realize it's bad coffee because you got McDonald's coffee the other day, but you weren't drinking it.
But I don't hate McDonald's coffee.
But
the coffee I got the other day was bad.
Yeah, you said this is bad.
But I got a macchiato. That was my own mistake. Like a normal black coffee from McDonald's, that's fine.
No, I
think that's decent quality.
You can pile in the sugar in anything and it'll taste fine. It's like you can fry a shoe and the shoe's gonna
taste fine.
fine.
I disagree with that.
I'm with Alex. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I think a black coffee from McDonald's isn't horrible. I just can't.
I'm not saying it's the best. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's not the best. But
I really and then like it's so acidic, like you get like a stomach ache afterwards because it's just not a high level coffee. But anyways, is it drive-through coffee? Is it gas station coffee, or is it mechanic coffee?
It's mechanic coffee, and it's not close, right? So I tweeted about this, right? So how I found this out was, and I was scheduled to work from home today regardless, but I was like, hey, I'm out of coffee at home.
That's controversial as well.
What's controversial?
Well, some people thought you like pre-planned calling out sick.
I didn't call out sick. I'm working today. I'm filling in on Scalzone Brust right after you guys.
Nobody cares. All right. I don't know about that show. I don't know what that show is. No, so there was a controversy because someone thought you were out sick today, and then
who's someone?
Well, we maybe just picked up on it. Jesse's like, Stroh's not feeling well, and I gotta go drop off a power
I never once said I wasn't feeling well. People are putting words in my mouth. I feel great. I'm having a great day. I just had lunch with Jesse Nelson.
You're all riled up here. Let's just stay. All right. You're not in trouble. So, anyways.
Well, I don't like you putting things on my name that aren't true, Jim.
Blame Jesse. We're just relaying the controversy.
Stirred the pot.
Okay.
Yeah, I was never out sick. Anyway, so I woke up this morning. I wanted to go get a cup of coffee. I had a coffee in the house. And, I'm driving down the road out of my apartment parking lot, and I just hear something scraping, right? And I'm like, well, this is bad news, right? Is it a flat tire? Something dragging behind me? Did somehow the front of my car fall off, right? You never know what's going to happen with the Saturn. So I pull over just outside of my complex parking lot on the side of the road, and sure thing, there is the muffler dangling. But in my previous,
hold on though. You say sure thing. There's my muffler dangling.
I didn't know that at first.
We shared the text today.
But you shared the text at 10:50 a.m. where I confirmed it was a muffler, correct? Because you didn't do that on social media.
Right, but that's the whole point. You didn't have, nobody had to confirm it was a muffler. Everyone that you sent that photo to in the office is like, that's the muffler. Matt Hamilton had to reply and basically say,
well, I already had it figured out at that
That
point.
was 100% the muffler. But
So
the fact that you didn't know it
You're
immediately.
misrepresenting this, Jim. You're misrepresenting this. I didn't know immediately. I did not. Right? Because the first thing I did when I pulled over was texted you.
I did not.
Because I figured you would know. And you were like, I don't know what that is.
No, whoa. I have the text. I did not misrepresent anything. Here's exactly how I went. It was me, Molly Brown, Matt Hamilton.
Yep.
What is this? What do I do? And then I said, your car may have crossed the Flacco line. Then you replied back with
two expletives. Let's not read that one.
And I said, is your car very loud? And then
I said, no, it's not the muffler, I don't think.
Right.
I don't think.
And then
I've had that happen before. And so when it happened 5 years ago, the whole freaking muffler fell off.
But then the next reply from someone who wasn't you was, I promise that's your muffler from Matt Hamilton. Which made me laugh out loud.
That was an hour later, and I said, it is.
But
and then you tweeted
the
4 hours after that I didn't know what it was, which is not the case.
But no, it is the case, Alex. When it happened, a normal person with any sort of common sense would say, that's my muffler.
Well, right, but I've always lacked common sense. We know that.
Right.
Secondly,
So that's why the
you would think it would be louder, Jim. You would think it would be purring, right? Like the beautiful cat it is. You would think it'd be purring, and it wasn't purring. It sounded completely normal. So anyway, I pulled over, came back home.
How long did you drive
whatever.
with the car like this? Side note, that was a question we had. Was this last night?
So last night I got home at 10 o'clock, and there was nothing wrong with it. I drove not even a block. I legitimately thought at one point that somebody cut off my catalytic converter. But then I realized that a 2007 Saturn does not have a catalytic converter. So that couldn't have been the case. So anyway, I brought my car to the mechanic, I don't know, about 12:30. And this is on Grand Avenue in Sun Prairie I'm on, right? So there's a roundabout in the middle of Grand Avenue in Sun Prairie. And my muffler fell off in the middle of the roundabout, but I didn't notice it until I was a little bit forward. So I pulled over on the road. I swear to God, guys, I almost caused a multiple car pile up in the middle of this roundabout. I'm waving at everybody as I'm walking down the street, apologizing, saying sorry about my muffler you almost either ran over or got rear-ended for stopping for. It's been a disaster of a day.
So anyways, are you going to get your car fixed or everyone else?
Yeah, it's already in the shop.
Oh, goodness. Can you give us a range of how much this is costing you?
$587.
So we did a blue book on your car that if you bought it from a dealership, it'd be $3,000.
Yeah, so that's a sixth of it. So I think it's a worthy investment. Everything's fine about the car otherwise.
No, there's not. It is not. How many miles are on that?
224.
And Saturns are not known for quality. Like
they are. Sure they are. Both Saturns I've had have made it over the 220 cusp.
When did you buy them? How many miles did both of these cars have when you bought them?
The first one was brand new. It was like my mom's car, and then I totaled that one. And then I got another one that same summer. I was like, I'd love this car. So I bought the same exact car, same color, same everything, same year, same make, same model.
What do you love about these Saturns?
They're reliable.
Saturn themselves
they're reliable as heck.
Like, we're out of the car game.
I've never had a major issue. A muffler falling off. I do not say that's a major issue.
I think that's an issue.
It's a minor inconvenience.
250,000. How many miles?
224.
224 is the issue. Like you need a new car.
But the engine's running great. I just had it checked out. They said this thing looks freaking perfect.
You are a grown man, and you don't drive an adult's car. Like I just think at some point you just have to buy a car you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, I agree with you. But it's a great car.
Did you at least consider, like for a second? Because we've been calling your car the Saturn POS. We've been talking about naming cars. We've named your car the POS, and I've had those cars. I've been in your shoes at your age and even older. But each time I would ever be, confronted with
what is that piece of steel?
Yes, piece of Saturn.
Yeah, I like that.
Every time I'm confronted with it, I ask the question: is it worth it to get it fixed? Because you look up the blue. 844-770-3776. Maybe we'll make another.
What would you do with it, Jim?
What
would you do if you were in my shoes with this car? What would you do?
I can't put myself in your shoes because I don't know everything. I would have tried to sell it on Craigslist, Facebook, whatever, for whatever I can take that money and try to get a new car.
So Strofe, you're a
or used car or whatever.
You're a full-time employee now. You make some money. I had something similar happen this year. I'm on car number 5 as a 25-year-old. I've had just unbelievably bad luck.
Wow.
Right? But I went through it and I was like, after the 4th one crapped out on me, right? Like the suspension all dropped at once. I had no power steering and smoke was coming out of it. I was like, you know what?
Oh God.
It's time as an adult to purchase a car and make a car payment. And so I'm paying $200 some bucks a month, which stinks. You know, you don't love that, but like I don't have to worry about it now. It's good. I have a car that's reliable aside from all of the nails that I'm running over.
Yeah, I also have a car that's reliable. Just sometimes
So
every 5 years, the muffler falls off.
We'll post the question, Alex. You can get back to what you're doing. We do appreciate you hopping in right away. But 844-770-3776. $3,000 is the value of Alex Strofe's car. We'll give him the full value there, Chris, even though that's what you'd have to pay the dealership. So, I mean, realistically, Alex would be lucky to get $1,000 if he tried to sell it.
Yeah.
So basically he's putting in half the actual resale value of the car into the car to keep it running. But the question is it worth to put $500 of repairs into a car worth $3,000? 844-770-3776. Do we have a caller on the line here? Alex, you can hang on for the caller.
Yeah, we've got Ed and Madtown.
Oh, we got Alex.
Eddie! Not Eddie!
Oh, no.
Well, that didn't work out. But
Eddie turned into a robot. Yeah,
maybe Eddie will call back. We'll have to grab him later. But that's another question here from Iron Jock. Is it worth it to put $500 of repairs into a car worth?
It's not worth it.
$3,000. And realistically, in real value, because they always talk about the sports memorabilia, like what people, what they're going to pay for it is what it's worth. $1,000. So you basically put half the value of the car into repairing the car. Let's get to Ed and Madtown this time. We'll do one more time. Ed, what's going on?
I've had 3 Saturns.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, two of them were oil guzzlers. Every time I went in to get an oil change, they said, Mr. Weitzel, you need to add another 1.5 quarts. And then the third one saved my life. So I guess the third one was the lucky charm. I had a head-on collision on our lovely belt line, and it protected me. So I don't know what to say. I mean, 1 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess. But they don't make the cars no more. I don't even know if you can get parts for them anymore. Sorry to disrespect the Saturn dealership, but
there's none. So
there's no such thing anymore. No such thing anymore. Yeah.
Man, we got another.
I know.
Kevin, thanks for hopping on that. We got another caller on the line.
Kevin, that was Ed.
Ed, sorry, I read the name off the list, off the phones there. I said that out loud. Ed, yeah, thank you. Sorry about that. Ed, no, thanks for hopping on that. And thank goodness for the Saturn. I'm glad it kept you alive, saved your life. The older the car, the more those things are tanks.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like they have like the steel.
They build up that callus.
You're talking me into it, keeping it now.
But yours isn't.
Yours is past. It's past.
Bro, I'll tell you what. My first Saturday, I mentioned I totaled it real quick. I smoked a deer going 65 miles an hour.
God,
not a scratch on me. I was perfectly fine.
How do you hit a deer at 65 miles per hour?
Well, you see, Jim, when you're on the highway.
But you don't see it coming? I've seen deer on the highway. I get down to like
typically
45, 40, something, you know? 65. Alex, we're out of time.
I actually
here.
hit the
We're way
gas
past
instead
our
of the
time.
brake in that happenstance, but nonetheless.
Iconic.
See you guys. Thanks.
Exactly. That's Alex Strofe. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. We are presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about X Golf Madison, and the most important thing that you need to know is that X Golf Madison is for everyone. I golf there. Whether you're a seasoned pro, a new golfer, or in between like me, X Golf Madison is going to be fun for you. They have a full bar, excellent service, great food, and the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world. You can play one of their 50 courses available, take lessons from a PGA pro, hit the driving range, or even join a league. Stop by their East Madison or Middleton location today, or visit them online at xgolfwisconsin.com.
What do I want? I like that one. It's not my mood. Oh, yeah. That's the one.
Today we're headed down to the bayou to check in with Leo from Abita Brewing. They've got a lineup of special beers coming out all year long, and here he is to tell us all about it.
We have a True Wit that'll be releasing after Mardi Gras Bach. We'll be bringing back our Barney beer, which is a combination of our Andigator and Purple Haze. We talk about it being born at the gates of LSU. And then when we close out the year, we'll have our pecan beer, which is our take on pumpkin, because pumpkin isn't exactly that big here in the South. And then we close out with Christmas Ale. We have a couple of new releases in our limited portfolio. We're going to do a Rideshare Triple IPA. It's scary sessionable. We're coming out with a Fluffernutter, so a peanut butter and marshmallow beer.
Thanks to Leo from Abita Brewing sharing their unique lineup of brews coming out. Remember, folks, the fridge is always stocked.
Jim Rutledge here, and thanks to Carbon World Health, I'm not your run-of-the-mill Jim. I'm stronger and healthier than I've ever been thanks to my friends at Carbon World Health. My journey started with the 6-week experience. You should do the same. You'll get a consultation with Dr. Nestor Rodriguez, a training plan just for you, cryo treatments, blood work, just to name a few things. I am the fittest, healthiest, and lightest I've been in years thanks to the team at Carbon World Health. Sign up today at carbonworldhealth.com.
This is Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy for St. Kate the Arts Hotel. During your next visit to Milwaukee, St. Kate is the ideal destination for any stay. Recognized as one of Milwaukee's most esteemed hotels, St. Kate offers a modern luxury experience with an artful twist. With a prime location downtown in Milwaukee's Theater District, St. Kate serves as a creative hub for the city, where every aspect of the hotel is inspired by music, painting, sculpture, and design. It's a place to discover, remember, and connect. Learn more and book your next stay by visiting stkatearts.com.
I can't wait till Kansas City and Philly clash. It's going to be awesome, man.
Let's go. The NFL playoffs.
Jalen Hurts, he's definitely not healthy, and that is a story going into the Super Bowl.
And the city better be ready to put points on the board to try to take away some of this physicalness.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Quite honestly, this one's going to be, an all-time game, man.
Right now.
Continuing in-depth coverage. It all begins each morning at 6 Eastern with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, and continues all day on ESPN Radio.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by X Golf in Madison and Middleton.
We're going to jump right back into the show because we've been crazy as far as being horrendous on the clock. But you know what is fantastic? There's still snow on the ground. That is not fantastic. But it is fantastic because you can get excited about enjoying the outdoors on luxury patio furniture. Jim Rutledge here. I'm excited because I'm going to the Bruce Company. They are Dane County's premier retailer for outdoor furniture. So my wife and I are going to get an updated outdoor furniture set. We're going to go there soon, pick out what we want, and we're going to have it at the Rutledge household. We're very excited about it because there's exceptional craftsmanship, all the latest styles and colors, and all made with durable materials. Hold up during Wisconsin weather. It's all at the Bruce Company. So ask yourself, what is the lifestyle you want outside? Then let the trained staff at the Bruce Company help you bring your outdoor dreams to life. The Bruce Company, your outdoor living experts. Let's throw some stones.
The guys live in glass houses, but that's never stopped them before.
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum.
It's time to throw some stones.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
On Rutledge and Hamilton, brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
So despite how quickly we got to get through this, we're going to, in this chill music, I'm going to throw it to, I've been going through the interwebs, finding all the goofiest things I can find to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And today I wanted to start with Jimmy Fallon, actually. Jimmy Fallon got a hashtag trending on Twitter today. 3 words Super Bowl. Make a prediction of what will happen in the Super Bowl. Anything about the Super Bowl in just 3 words. Jim, we'll start with you.
Patrick Mahomes, GOAT. Because he'll go out there. I'll add a little, the lead sentence there. Patrick Mahomes goes out, wins his 2nd Super Bowl, and wins his 2nd Super Bowl MVP as he goes out and throws 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, so over 300 yards, as the Chiefs knock out the Eagles 28-23 in a very exciting game, sealed with a Patrick Mahomes late touchdown pass to MVS, who could have been on the Packers, but they decided they were too good for him. There you go.
I'm going to go Jalen Hurts emergence I think
Did Hurts so good?
I think Hurts steps into that upper echelon of quarterbacks after this Super Bowl. Man, I wish they would bring I think that the true MVP of the Super Bowl, though, I'm gonna give it to TJ Edwards, man. He gonna make some big plays in this game. People are gonna be so focused on the defensive line and that pass rush. I think TJ is gonna make a big impact. TJ Edwards has the record for most picks as an inside linebacker at the University of Wisconsin. He knows how to sit in coverage. A lot of balls gonna be coming his way. He'll get one.
I like it. I like it staying home. But we're gonna go across the country for this one. So last night I stayed up, watched LeBron James as he broke the all-time scoring record. And what they did was they stopped the game. They had this big event. It was like 5-10 minutes, something ridiculous. Did the Lakers do it right? Was that the right time to do it? Chris, we're going to start with you.
I mean, I think so, to be honest. I think it's a big deal, especially passing the torch to another Laker. Like, I think that if he was on another team, then it probably wouldn't feel right for them to stop the game. But I think it was a big deal, having Kareem there and LeBron passing it at home, same organization. I think they did it right.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no good way to handle something like that. But it is a record that's not going to be broken anytime soon. I don't think anyone's on the track of it. As I said before, the biggest, I will unquestionably say that LeBron James has the GOAT career. And when you talk about longevity and being able to play at this high level for this long, that probably would have been Kareem before him. So if I'm going GOAT careers, because I take longevity into account, I'm going LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone. I'm going to put Karl Malone in my top 10 all-time great players. I would put Kareem up there. As far as peak, it's still Jordan, but you still got to stop that game for LeBron because it's just the longevity of athleticism and physicality and skill from LeBron is remarkable.
Yeah. All right, we've got one more for you. Seth Rogen offers a chance to hang out at his place at an Airbnb. He's hosting an Airbnb and he's going to be there. Would you stay with Seth Rogen or would you want him to leave? Jim, we'll start with you.
Oh, I'm staying with Seth Rogen. I could not imagine a more fun time.
Weed is tight.
Yes, but even all that, like Seth would be just to hear his laugh, laugh. Funny. Like I could just hear him laugh the whole time, and I would have a good time. And honestly, I could. If the family's there too, like I think they'd all get along with Seth, and I think he'd be great entertainment. He's done kids movies. He did some. I forgot what it was. I think he was like a wrestler or something in it. So, I think Seth would be a great hang.
I can't stay with him. No. Like, I'll go.
Okay, he can't have his own room or something?
Nah, man. We can have a good time that night, a good dinner, lunch or whatever. Spend the whole day. But, no, I don't want to be... I can't stay at an Airbnb where somebody else is sleeping there, too.
That's different.
I can't
This
do
is
that.
an all-time famous person.
No,
forget even celebrity.
Can't do
guy's
it.
up there. All right,
can't do it. I don't think there's a single celebrity that I'm doing that with. To be honest,
my new favorite person chiming in here. Go ahead and give us the winner.
All right, so I think it was close, but Jim Rutledge is your winner.
You're getting cooked.
The Yard Possum chimes in from Lake Mills. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award for LeBron. Jordan had 10 scoring titles. Bron had 1. But that's my point. The longevity counts. But we'll talk about it off the air. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
What do I want? I like that one. It's not my mood. Oh, yeah. That's the one.
Today, we're headed down to the bayou to check in with Leo from Abita Brewing. They've got a lineup of special beers coming out all year long, and here he is to tell us all about it.
We have a True Wit that'll be releasing after Mardi Gras Bach. We'll be bringing back our Barney beer, which is a combination of our Andigator and Purple Haze. We talk about it being born at the gates of LSU. And then when we close out the year, we'll have our pecan beer, which is our take on pumpkin, because pumpkin isn't exactly that big here in the South. And then we close out with Christmas Ale. We have a couple of new releases in our limited portfolio. We're going to do a Ride Share Triple IPA. It's It's scary sessionable. We're coming out with a Fluffernutter, so a peanut butter and marshmallow beer.
Thanks to Leo from Abita Brewing sharing their unique lineup of brews coming out. Remember, folks, the fridge is always stocked.
To talk about his experience with Ridgetop Exteriors, here's Madison area customer Tom.
When our family needed a new roof, windows, and doors, we wanted to go with a company that we could trust. The team at Ridgetop Exteriors far exceeded our expectations. They communicated with us every step of the way and provided affordable financing options that fit our budget.
Ridgetop Larry here. Thanks for choosing Ridgetop Exteriors for your home's next project. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com for a free estimate.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here. Whether I'm dropping putts on the golf course or I'm sweeping stones on the ice, Iron Jock is my go-to apparel. Their state-of-the-art silver ion technology is guaranteed to keep you feeling fresh and provide odor-fighting protection for as long as you own it. Iron Jock gear eliminates 99% of odor-causing bacteria with their performance apparel that was designed from the inside out. Visit ironjock.com to get your Iron Jock apparel or visit any local Fleet Farm dealer today. Iron Jock, it's what's inside that matters.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
Every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising.
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Jim Rutledge here from Rutledge and Hamilton, weekdays 2 to 4 on ESPN Madison. Listen to our show every Thursday.
That's a lot of great memories.
For your chance
John
to
Hayes
win
for Goodman's
some
Jewelers.
booze
We've been
continue
caring for
your chance to
generations
win the
of
grand
customers,
prize.
and during that time,
continue
our
listening
strengths
for your
have been
chance to win the
trust,
grand prize of
service,
throwing
and
back a drink
selection.
with the Rutledge and
Those
Hamilton
traits
crew.
are who we are,
This month
and
we're
that
giving
will
away
never
a-
change.
This month we're
Goodman's
giving away
Jewelers, a
Simply
destination
Spiked
worth
Lemonade,
reaching.
a new line
220
of
State
bold,
Street.
full-flavored spiked
Goodman'sJewelers.com.
lemonades.
The best is at good.
A new line of bold,
What does it take to
full-flavored
make a
spiked
diamond?
lemonades
Extreme
crafted
heat and
from the
pressure
lemonade
and about a
experts at
billion
Simply.
years. But you can't wait that long. What do? You go to Goodman's Jewelers. I'm John Hayes from Goodman's Jewelers. There's a reason we are the Diamond Store of Madison. Since 1933, we provided outstanding service and selection to our customers, and that in turn has helped to establish countless great memories through the years. Goodman'sJewelers.com, located at 220 State Street, truly a destination worth reaching.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it!
Locked in on the Bucks.
No, never in a million years.
Bringing the insight and the analysis.
I do hate charge calls.
2022 Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Eric Name of The Athletic, is on Rutledge and Hamilton.
I asked this question off the air, so I'll just ask it on the air. Eric Name, where are you? It looks nice.
It is quite nice. I'm here in.
We can't hear you, so hold on one second here. Alex G will get it ready for you.
Hopefully it's on you guys.
Could
not
very
me.
well, Alex, if we go a little inside radio, do something with the spot I just cut, so maybe someone's not coming the right way to me. No? All right, we'll try. I don't even hear Eric in the background. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. He's Chris Orr. I'm Jim Rutledge, and we are in the Spark Building. Now I think I hear a little background noise, so that feels like Eric is here. Eric, where are you?
I'm at Santa Monica College here in beautiful Santa Monica, California. The Milwaukee Bucks just finished up their first practice since being here in LA. They flew here after the Portland game the other night, so they got to spend yesterday here in LA, and now they've spent today here, a little practice, and now back to back against the Lakers and the Clippers.
So I don't know if you're probably aware there's some news around the Lakers and everything. So I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to the players about LeBron's legacy, impact, and obviously yours as well. Did you get a chance to go? Were any players at this game? Like, what was the kind of the vibe of this record-breaking appearance or performance? Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm a junkie, so I volunteered myself to work that game. So I was our number 4 person at the Athletic for that game. I was collecting quotes from the Oklahoma City Thunder locker room last night. Ended up writing
I'm
a
sure
story
you would
about.
have to be collecting quotes from the referees to be at that game.
Yeah, I would have been happy collecting quotes from the press box.
Right.
Literally anything. So yeah, I was happy to do that. I wrote a story about Kenrich Williams, the guy that LeBron ended up hitting that shot over the top of last night. And yeah, there was one Bucks player there, Marshawn Beauchamp, ended up going to that game. We just talked about it a little bit, and he was just like, "That was crazy." That was just a wild experience, and being there in person, it was. I've talked to a couple people here today, and we were joking. It felt like a basketball performance at a it felt like I was at a LeBron concert, and he had a bunch of other people on stage, and you just had to wait for him to get back on the stage. And as soon as he touched the ball, everyone was like, "Oh, this is crazy! Oh, he's gonna do it!" And then when someone else would play, they'd be like, "Ah, whatever. It's just the opener. I don't care about him." Bring LeBron back out on the stage, and obviously, like, they lost the game, and the Lakers are now 13th in the West, so it is a little bit strange. But yeah, I mean, as far as legacy goes, like, we talked to Giannis after the game in Portland, and one thing that he said is, if he's looking, through his eyes and through the rest of his career, LeBron has kind of offered up the blueprint. Like, Giannis has talked about many times wanting to go out and play 20 seasons, and the only way to do it is to take care of your body in the same way that LeBron does, and put the resources into it and care about it, and really go through all of that. So to me, that was kind of the interesting thing, was just hear, Giannis kind of talk about, like, if I'm looking at someone around the league, and obviously Giannis and LeBron have different games, but if there's a blueprint for the rest of his career, it is LeBron, and it is playing those 20 years and just trying to get all the way to the end in the same way that LeBron has, where he's been fantastic all this time.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Eric. Sorry, this regarding LeGoat James.
This guy's the biggest stand out there for you.
But, my question is, because it seems like over LeBron's career, the narrative has always changed when people try to compare him for being the best ever or not. It seems like it's an ever-changing thing, no matter when it is. And it seems like now people want to basically say Jim's actually a part of this. That
I'm right here, Chris.
You're not the only one.
What can I say my argument then? If you're going to
longevity, well, I'm just going to try to say it like shortly, I guess. His longevity, or the peak of his career, is diminished because of his longevity.
No, see, again, here's Eric. Here's what I'll say, Chris. This is how you're hearing it. What I'm saying is that I put LeBron in the category of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm not, and obviously with that, and then Karl Malone. That they're part of their legacy, and it sets it apart because, like, Jordan, we're not going to punish him for needing to take some time off playing NBA because his dad was murdered. But the longevity is one of the most impressive things about it. Being able to go out there and perform at this level forever and score all these points is truly electric, and that's part of their legacy. I almost put them in a different category of just these careers that will never be matched. The peak part of it is maybe they didn't reach the peak, in my opinion, of Jordan, but the longevity is just as impressive, and it's not anything to sneeze at. It is their biggest strength to be that great for that long. That's kind of let Eric answer it, because that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I mean, so I think with Jordan, if we talk about, I think the way that we talk about basketball has always been influenced by Jordan more than anyone else, right? Because sports talk has always existed, but it hasn't existed in the way that it now exists. I would say the last 20 years or so, it's really kind of developed into its own thing, and there's a way that we talk about things. And in that, ring culture has become a big part of it, that you got to have the rings and you got to have the wins. And when you look at Jordan's career, it's perfect for that, right? He couldn't get to the finals for a long time. And that is not something that's held against him. That is seen as the journey. That is seen as part of, what he had to do to get there. And that's fine. But LeBron managed to do it earlier. and that's held against him because he lost in those games, and he doesn't have that perfect finals record. And no one's ever going to have that, right? I mean, maybe Giannis gets lucky enough to somehow get to 6 NBA finals and be perfect in that time. I think that's incredibly unlikely. It's probably not going to happen. And if he does, then maybe you can have the same arguments. You can say he's the GOAT. But I just think it's going to be really hard for someone to go perfect in the finals again. Everything is laid out kind of perfectly. And because that's how we make the conversation and have the discussion, so often it's going to be favored in a way that has Jordan as the guy. And again, that's not to say Jordan isn't the guy. To me, he is the GOAT, but we can't have the conversation because no one's ever going to have a 6-0 finals record.
And look, and Jordan's similar to Brady, and so is LeBron in this case. Like, they kind of break the scales just in different ways. Like the 7 titles, if Mahomes gets 5, what we can't call him the greatest, that LeBron, the titles part of it. I mean, the Jordan thing, like, I feel like there's so much more than the titles. But LeBron now, when you look at those stats, I don't know who is ever going to break this one. Maybe it's Giannis. So that's Eric. My follow-up to you is that Giannis does the 20 years. Let's just play it out. I mean, give us a prediction here. Let's say he plays 20 years. Where do you think the rings, does he have all-time titles? Like, where do you think that lies? Like, let's assume health, because he seems to have a body, knock on wood, I don't want to be the guy to jinx it, that can hold up for a long NBA career, because all you have to do is look at Anthony Davis and see the body that can't do it, that plays with LeBron. So let's assume health. Let's assume 20 years. Where do you think Giannis is sitting at the end of this?
Yeah, I think where it gets interesting is Giannis is kind of working through all of this right now, right? Like, he's trying to figure out how to get a jumper, how to work in the post game. Essentially, these are how do you age gracefully questions. It's how do you make sure that you play at this high of a level for those 20 years and don't just become, another player or another guy. And obviously Giannis is spectacular, and that's probably not going to happen. He's probably not going to just be some other guy at any point in his career. But how he continues to play and how he continues to do this, like, that is, to me, the question. And I think where it gets even tougher is that we've seen over the years that NBA training staffs aren't going to let guys play 82 games anymore. That's just, like, not how this works. You're going to play 70 in a season, maybe 65. So if you're Giannis and you're trying to catch all the LeBron numbers, you have to deal with the fact that your first 2 seasons weren't as statistically great as LeBron's. Then you have to deal with the fact that you're playing 60 to 65 games. You have to deal with a shortened season because of the pandemic. You have to add all those up, and then all of a sudden, instead of a 20-year career, you're looking at a 22-year career, or whatever LeBron's ends up being +2. And then that, I think, becomes even more difficult. So I don't think Giannis will get there. I think in an ideal world, he can, who knows, win another championship this year, and then add a couple more in the second decade of his career. But those things aren't guaranteed. You have no idea what team you're going to be with. You have no idea if you're going to be able to do the thing for that long and be that great for that long. So I think it does kind of get it's easier to say, oh, he's on pace to do these things than it is to actually deliver on those things, if that makes any sense.
No, absolutely. And the last thing we have here, and I guess this will be the last time I'll ask you, is Jay Crowder going to be on the Bucks?
I mean, that's a great question. It's one that everyone's trying to figure out. And honestly, my answer kind of remains the same as it was last week. The Suns are going to try to do something big in the next 24 hours. We're just about 24 hours from the deadline. They're going to try to do something big. They want a big deal. They don't necessarily want the Jay Crowder deal. Maybe that's what they end up getting, and that's how it goes. But to me, I think the big thing is, can the Suns get something bigger done? And I think that kind of goes for the rest of the league. I think you're seeing the trade deadline kind of sputter a little bit because so many big names have now been mentioned that you got to figure all of that out first. The Kyrie trade, okay, that shut the whole league down for a day because everyone's trying to figure out who could trade for him. Okay, now that Kyrie's gone, are they also going to trade KD? That kind of shuts things down for a day. Then you have the Toronto Raptors trying to figure out what they're going to do. So I think all this has kind of been slow because everyone wants the big ticket item. Everyone wants to make the big move. But what is, more realistic is that by the end, there's just smaller moves. And that to me is kind of when the Jay Crowder deal happens. So I think it probably is 50-50, but it's more dependent on can somebody else get something else done? Then it might be, can the Bucks actually get it done?
And I do have one more. This is a selfish one. I saw some rumors somewhere, and it would make me incredibly happy because I honestly think it would be huge for the Bucks. Derrick Rose name floated out there by I don't know where, some aggregate to the Bucks. I mean, a scoring guard that can put the ball on the floor and score some buckets and maybe take some scoring lift off of Drew and Chris and Giannis seems super helpful.
Yeah, that was Mark Stein that reported that. To me, I don't know that the Bucks would trade for Derrick Rose. You look at kind of his season and how things have gone. He's kind of been on the outside looking in the Knicks rotation, and that's with a coach that loves him and Tom Thibodeau. He's kind of been out of the rotation since I think about December 30th, 31st, somewhere in there. I think what might be more likely is I don't doubt that the Bucks have Derrick Rose interest. They've been interested in Derrick Rose for a long time. For years, they've been connected to him. I think what is more likely than a trade before the deadline is potentially a buyout after the deadline, and then the Bucks being able to get into that. Just because I don't think at this point in his career, the Knicks can really get anything for Derrick Rose. I just don't think that he's at that stage of his career. So, the Bucks have been connected to him for a long time. They've been interested in him for a long time, but to me, it's more likely that it's a buyout move than it would be a trade.
And that goes full circle on it. When we talk about LeBron's greatness and you talk about what Giannis's career looked like, Derrick Rose was going to be the next guy.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was at a college game day before spring practice, and he hurt his knee. And I was distracted all spring practice figuring out what was wrong with him, and he never got back to what he was. Eric, thanks, and we'll find out what this Bucks team looks like next week then.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
Enjoy LA. That's Eric Name from The Athletic. We will wrap up the show on the other side. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute powered by Everlight Solar. Simplify your life, save money, and clean up the environment. Learn more at everlightsolar.com. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. A Wisconsin quarterback will not return to Madison in 2023. According to Jesse Temple of The Athletic, Chase Wolf will not return to Madison after originally declaring he would. Wolf started at quarterback in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl win over Oklahoma State back in December and played 4 seasons at Wisconsin. Wolf finishes his career as a Badger with 3 touchdown passes and will not compete for the starting quarterback job this fall under new head coach Luke Fickell following the arrival of quarterbacks Nick Evers and Tanner Mordecai from the transfer portal.
Lock in your prices at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin by February 28th and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
North and South Seafood and Smokehouse is the official barbecue and seafood and smokehouse of Rutledge and Hamilton. Make sure to listen every Wednesday for your chance to win a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Madison, Verona, and DeForest. North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, Your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors.
Nice to know my kind will be on my side. I don't believe the hype. And you know you're a terrible sight, but you'll be just fine. Just don't believe the hype. Yeah, they might be talking behind your head. Your exterior world can step off instead.
There's TikTok content that you can have now where we're arguing about Jordan and Pippen, but that's not on-air conversation just because we are in Madison, Wisconsin. But I will circle back to this part of it. Chris Orr, Jim Rutledge, Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light, Alex G behind the glass. When you look at greatness, it's always about the next. Because, Chris, I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be people coming for LeBron immediately.
Yep.
If Giannis gets another title this year,
you're saying he's the next LeBron?
Who else?
I mean, I guess we'll have to see.
How
Everybody
crazy is
said
it?
They said the same thing about a lot of other guys. Ben Simmons, that fizzled out. Zion Williamson had the same type of hype coming out with LeBron. That has fizzled out some. He's starting to grow a little bit now. We've seen.
Okay,
more.
but are you purposely just naming guys who just didn't do it?
No,
Giannis
they
is
were
done.
supposed to be the next LeBron. Nobody coming out.
Nobody, no. Who was calling him next LeBron?
I'm talking about people who had the same expectations as LeBron coming into the league, and then
nobody who put those. Like, I feel like you're making up straw man argument.
How am I making that up?
So-
Zion Williamson is probably the closest thing we can compare to LeBron as far as the hype when he was coming out.
Forget that. I don't care about the hype. I'm talking
That's
about
part of his career.
But Giannis is on. Look, Giannis is tracking that way, though. I'm not talking about a guy who didn't do it. Giannis already has a ring, multiple MVPs.
All I say is we'll see, because we saw another.
I love this because this is where
playing.
Chris is at right
Is
now.
Giannis not
Is
still
how I
playing?
reacted when people try to put LeBron and Jordan together. How dare you?
How? Because LeBron's actually even still going to this day. We can't even cap his career yet.
But you're proving my
You
point.
still can't
Giannis
cap
should
his
be in this
career.
conversation.
What? In the same conversation? Like, you're ridiculous.
No, as
Like,
far as
come on, thank you.
No, the next guy in the league, like Giannis is better than LeBron right now. If I'm
Yeah.
building a team, I'm going Giannis. Unquestionably.
right now, yeah, because he's younger.
But also,
Right
over the-
now, of course, you're going to build a team with a younger guy.
I would say for the last 4 years, Giannis is a better basketball player than LeBron James.
This is what I'll say. This is what I'll say about back to earlier. We saw another Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. We still have yet to see another LeBron James. And on top of that, you can't compare somebody to LeBron because he's still not done. We are just now able to start comparing careers to like Tom Brady because he retired. Like, there's a stop. There's still not an end point with LeBron. So to me, that is sustained greatness for this long.
Right. But we're
that's
talking
so much heavier.
See, you get
than
so
some-
triggered about LeBron. What I'm saying,
How?
because you're blowing off the handle. All I said
You're
was,
not even letting me finish.
but
thought.
all I said was Giannis is tracking to be a guy
and all I
that
said
could
was we'll see.
run down some of those numbers.
All I said was we'll see, because LeBron's not done. You literally can't necessarily make that
But
statement
this is about-
because it's still.
But
going.
Giannis has a ring before. Actually, I'm going to say this without question, and I do not even need a response to it.
What year was that?
Giannis's
And
title?
What year was it? Was of his career? was that?
Giannis's title is earlier than LeBron's. Giannis's
no, I know
title,
that,
excuse me
but
though, but
what year?
Giannis's title is more impressive than any title LeBron James has won.
Are you
Because
serious?
nobody that Giannis played with is on the level of Chris Bosh, or Dwayne Wade, or Kyrie Irving. He won a title with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Those guys are not those players. Giannis's title, and Giannis, what he did in the NBA Finals is one of the greatest
No,
finals
it's not.
performances of
LeBron
all
led
time.
in every single category, down 3-1 to the best team ever.
So what?
That is the most important. That's the most impressive finals
I didn't
performance
say
ever.
No, I said one of for Giannis. Again, triggered, Chris.
All right, Alex right there with me. You
But
hear
I
his
said,
replies?
but I said one of the greatest performances
But
of all
the
time.
greatest
That
is
was
LeBron.
but that was in year or season 1 in the NBA Finals for Giannis. He had a performance that is unquestionably a top 5 performance in the NBA Finals of all time from Giannis. And Giannis has gotten a title with nobody close to what LeBron did in Miami, for sure.
Okay,
Unquestionably.
well, let's also talk about how 20-year-old LeBron led the
I
Cleveland
don't care about
Cavaliers.
that.
How do you not care about that? That's an important piece of the argument. Is it not?
Rings. This is Rutledge and
If
Hamilton.
we're just going rings,
Presented
Robert Orr is better than Michael Jordan.
See, disingenuous. Strawman. I'm going to call you Strawman. Tomorrow, we're hosting with Strawman
Come
Chris
on
Orr.
now.
Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
Security Solutions opened in 1987. Our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm Vice President Jeffrey Beckman.